Yeah,
All
sure.
right. All right, let's go. Happy New Year, our football family. I'm sure everybody is so excited for the first edition of Let's Argue 2026. New Year, same passion, higher standards, and from AFCON drama under the African skies to semi-final tension in England. Now, to a Serie A race that's heating up, I'm sure Thibaut is excited. Football is already asking big questions in January. Thibaut.
Yeah, and we're not here for the headlines. We're here for the patterns, for the performances, and for the proof. Who's real, who's fading, and who's building something that's sustainable. Because
Because
January
Thibaut,
doesn't
yeah.
lie. It exposes depth, mentality, and leadership.
Oh yeah, and some team passed the test this week, others failed publicly. So talk to us tonight. Who impressed you in 2026 so far, and who's already under pressure? Let's go into it. We start with the AFCON semifinals. Africa at its best. I think it's the best AFCON I've seen. And obviously, Morocco into their first AFCON final in 50 years. Nigeria eliminated despite an unbeaten run. Yassine Puno, 2 saves in shootout, but you know what? Those guys from they wasted the shootout. The guys from Nigeria, and then a stadium of 60,000 plus capacity. What an electric atmosphere! Now, this was emotional football. Nigeria brought tradition, Morocco brought destiny, and in moments like this, Thibaut, you need a goalkeeper who can carry the weight of a nation.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yasin Bono did what Yasin Bono does in crucial moments. But Nigeria, I mean, actually, we take them into account. They actually as the drama of the game, and statistically, they looked way better, or maybe more in control with 52% possession. They had 14 shots to Morocco's 10, and they had more touches in the final third. So if that's were anything to go by, then it would be easy to assume that they were on top of proceedings in this game. But football doesn't work like that, because Morocco had something Nigeria lacked, and this was composure in decisive moments. Yasin Bono now has 3 penalty saves in this tournament alone.
Sure. And obviously, Thibaut, for Nigeria, this hurts. Another semi-final exit. Now that's now one final in their last five AFCON tournaments. Now the question is of the squad is, and the coaching staff will be brutal because everybody's going to be asking. We have so many stars. It's like the Real Madrid of Africa, and they are not winning when it matters. So Senegal versus Egypt. This wasn't just Senegal versus Egypt. This was legacy versus legacy. Mane delivered when it mattered most. Hey, Tips?
No, yeah, no, definitely. Sadio Mane, I think he got one over Mohamed Salah once again. I think in the back of his mind, he kept on having flashbacks of that moment when Mohamed Salah refused to pass him the ball at Liverpool.
Mm.
Senegal had 62% possession, 18 shots on goal, and they pressed Egypt into just one shot on target. And mind you, this one shot only came after Senegal took the lead. Sadio
Mm.
Mane's goal in the 87th minute came from Senegal's 22nd entry into the box. That is sustained pressure. I don't know about you.
Mm-hmm. And Salah, where was he? In some youngster's pocket, eh? Completely neutralized. Big game defines Ballon d'Or level players, and Mane stepped forward yet again. And then we have coming up in Rabat this Sunday. It is the final,
Yeah,
Morocco versus Senegal. Thibaut, first of all, who is your money on?
I'm going with Senegal without a shadow of a doubt.
Me too. Me too. You see, for once we agree. Maybe 2026 will be nice for us, eh? Me
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
bro.
definitely.
So,
Yeah,
so a
definitely.
host nation is chasing history. They're gonna have 60,000 plus people supporting them. Senegal is gonna find it hard. Obviously, every time probably they touch the ball, there'll be a boo. a champion chasing legacy. Now that is a final worthy of Africa. And what's nice, Thibaut, now, have you seen how the whole world is actually watching AFCON?
Ush, are they really watching it?
Mm,
Are they really watching it?
they
And
are.
and and
Your boys were even there from Real Madrid.
and just on that, nah, do you think this AFCON in particular, like they've given a great account of themselves?
You know what? It's not bad. What I like is that it's quality pitches that look clean on TV. Obviously, I don't know when I'm there, but quality pitches on TV. Quality, what you call this thing? Everything looks like the standard of Europe that we are used to. Like in a Champions League match. So it doesn't look so bad. I'm not angry at it. You? What do you think?
Um. Okay. One thing I think I'll say that I'm sad about is that it's only a full house if Morocco are playing. But
Well,
I guess I
the
guess
thing
that
is,
makes sense
remember,
because they're the host nation.
no, but no, another thing. In Morocco is pricey for us other Africans. You need a visa to go to Morocco, and on top of that, Morocco's currency is high. It's even higher than the rand, maybe just by maybe 2 rand
Mm,
or something. So
mm,
you can just
mm.
imagine then just going to Morocco to go watch. That's why even when you watch the
Crazy.
Springboks playing in France or anywhere, you'll see just one or two blacks. You understand, and then the Vitmens. So I don't
Yeah,
think,
you mean South Africans? Because
yeah.
remember, there's black people also in France.
Yeah, but South Africans, not just black people. But look, Tibo, I'm just thinking we together.
Before we move on, before we move on,
Yeah.
one last thing. Before we move on, Askis, one last thing. What do you think Jamie Carragher will say about Mohamed Salah getting knocked out in the semi-final?
He's gonna be so happy because it's gonna you see, he couldn't even carry his nation. Jamie Carragher, man, he knows Utigena. He has to be controversial or he is nothing. Do you understand? So this is a way for him to bring money to the table at home. This is a way for him to actually remain topical. Do you understand? So hey, let Jamie do what he needs to do. Those who believe him must listen, and those who just love laughing at him and saying, "Oh, shame," will just keep on doing that. So yeah, he'll probably just touch on which he couldn't even carry his team, and maybe then if he does go on a low blow, it would be him mentioning Mane and say Mane was the better player.
Yeah, it's yet to be seen.
Mm.
Now,
All right, we get into the FA Cup that was happening midweek, some English Cup football. So it was not perfect, Tebow, but it was powerful. Liverpool 4 and Barnsley 1.
yeah, listen, Liverpool considered two big chances, but scored 4 goals with an XG of 2.1. Very clinical. Dominic Soboslai showing that he's the true leader of this team. Florian Wirtz got in the action, as well as Frimpong. They all scored from outside the box. And I think that's elite shot quality. I don't know about you.
No, look, it's not Liverpool, obviously, as much as they are starting to win, they still look vulnerable defensively. But when your midfield
Mhm.
scores both like that, you know what? You're hard to stop, especially if you're a team that's not in the Premier League or strong. And then we had Man
So, so,
City. Yeah.
so wait, you mentioned that the defense looks vulnerable. What's
Mm.
the problem there? Virgil van Dijk.
No, no, no. I think you know what they've just lost that solidity, man. They just not the Liverpool that was there. Score. Barnsley got a few chances, to go ahead and score, but I will see once as they go into the next round. Maybe they get a Man City, maybe they get Arsenal to see if their defense can hold up. Because they definitely let in some goals, but I don't know if it's Van Dijk or is it the system.
Yeah, it's yet to be seen.
Yeah. Then Man City 2, Newcastle 0, City with the control, and Guardiola currently on fire after a few draws that dropped him off a bit from the title race.
Yeah, listen, Manchester City completed 91% of their passes. Newcastle had just 0.6 xg at home. Now I don't know
Mm.
about you, Leza, but that is total dominance for from the Blues. Anton Semenyo, now has 2 goals in 2 games since joining the Citizens. I think
I
all the Manchester City fans can be very happy with this signing, and they'll be hoping that he maintains this level and this form for the remainder of the campaign.
I think he definitely will because even obviously Pep angry at the VAR after winning 2-0 tells you something about Pep's standards. He is ruthless. Even while he's winning, he still wants to win even more. So you can just imagine. But Semenyo, I think he's such a steal, man, because his football is just so forward thinking. He just wants to go forward. I think about Doku will lose out to like a Semenyo. Semenyo is better on the wing because he actually does go and do something. He has a final product, while Doku will go ahead and dribble you and then fall on his own legs. All right, so Chelsea,
Yeah,
Arsenal.
Doku,
Yeah,
just on that, Lebzane, Doku is, I don't want to say a teacher's pet, but he's one of Pep's favorite players. So
he is.
I think one way or another, they'll find a way to sandwich him into the 11.
No, Udoku will definitely stay because I think he also listens to Pep, and Pep is the type of coach. Just listen to him and try to do what he says. So I don't think Doku is magical like that, like your Neymars or whatnot. Uguti, he can just come up with his own things. But on the next match, we saw obviously Chelsea at home to and Arsenal coming to visit. But Chelsea, what has happened? Like chaos, drama. Obviously, the rivalry is high because it's a London derby. But everything a semi-final should be. What was your thought on the match?
Yeah, first of all, I also don't understand what's going on at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea. I don't understand why they let go of Enzo Maresca and employed a
Mm.
grade 9 teacher to
Hey,
take over the team. But listen, Chelsea committed 3 individual errors leading to those shots. 2 of them were punished. Robert Sanchez directly contributed to the 2 goals that they conceded. This must be said, and this has to be highlighted. Arsenal scored from 3 of their 5 shots on target. So
yo,
overall, I think everything is still up in the air at Chelsea. I think this coach first and foremost will need to show that he has the mental fortitude
mm,
to get this group of players to buy into his ideas.
true.
Because for me, taking into account his history and the work that he has been doing in France, I don't think he has the tools to be able to manage a dressing room as volatile as this.
Hey, bruh, because there's stars from left and right. Sure, even the ball boy is a star. So I think for me though,
Mhm.
this is why Arsenal are contenders and Chelsea keep being in that lab of rebuilding. And I think they've now been rebuilding for too long. I think they need to call maybe like an Antonio Conte back. Then at least they'll be stabilized and they'll win a league or something. Margins, accountability, and mentality are definitely things that Chelsea needs to work on. But if we jump on to the League of the Stars, Sevilla, hey, I remember a time, Thibaut, on this show right here. I don't know, episode 10, 11, 12, or something, and you were laughing at me because Sevilla had beaten me 4-1. But look at all the teams that have beaten me, Thibaut. What is happening to them? Look at Chelsea. Look at what you call Sevilla right here. Look at Madrid. I can go on, man. I can go on. But look at Sevilla right here. This is becoming painful to watch, man. Thibaut?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You may have a point there, but we're still halfway through the season. We
Mm.
haven't even gotten to the penultimate stages of the season. Barcelona hasn't won anything yet except for the Super Cup. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you need to take a chill pill, bro.
I
Yeah,
will rest.
Sevilla.
Yeah.
Sevilla have now gone 4 games without scoring. They
Mm.
have one goal in their last 6 matches.
Yo.
Marcos Alonso ended up being the man of the match. He also scored the winning goal from the penalty spot. He had 4 interceptions, and his passing accuracy, my man, was at 93%. So overall, I think Sevilla, they need to overhaul the whole
Mm.
management team. If you ask me, I think. With the caliber of players that is on their roster, anyone can be forgiven for expecting them to be actually playing a much better brand of football or even churning out the results. But the manner in which things are going now, no, it's really not looking good.
Dude, when your home stadium goes silent, the pressure just becomes unbearable. So I'm telling you, Sevilla are heading into crisis territory, and they are happy fans. I really don't deserve this because Sevilla is one of those teams that always, was there in the top six in the Europa League, also winning it. So it's really sad to see what's happening to it. Thibaut, let's get into your league, man. Let's get into the Serie A because I think the title race is really heating up at the moment. Cremonese could do nothing against a well-rested Juve. This was a statement, don't you think?
Yeah, no, listen, Luciano Spalletti has arrived. Juventus put on a 5-star performance. Juventus have now won 5 of their last 6 league games, scoring 14 goals in total in this run. They are on level on points with Napoli and AS Roma, behind only Internazionale. Now, Luciano Spalletti's structure, this team doesn't have a structure. The only thing they know how to do is to defend as a unit and to attack with vigor and with bravado. Totally outstanding.
Oh, yes, Juventus are back in the conversation, and that was a statement, and that match officially welcomed them back into the title race. And then, Thibaut, Cagliari are bad visitors, man, or good visitors, because then they left with nothing, right? They didn't take cutlery, they didn't steal
Oh
the
yeah,
serviette.
definitely.
So
They
that's
didn't
a
take any
survival
Tupperwares, they
football.
didn't do anything.
They they left without nothing.
Literally. They are the type of visitors that don't take any of your Tupperware when they come over. Genoa
Mhm.
jumped 3 places with this win. A clean sheet, 3 goals, 1.9 XG, totally clinical. I think Patrick Vieira will be happy with this result.
Oh, yes. And you and I have been watching football for a while, man. And we know that champions sometimes in the marathon of the league have to win ugly. And Inter
Yeah,
did just that in their 1-0 win against Lecce.
Yeah, International are now 6 points clear, eh? And they won just with just 1.1 xg, and this is total control. And you're absolutely spot on. When you are the champions elect, not
Mm,
every game is going to go your way. Not every game will you have your midfielders hovering over the pitch or
mm,
gliding or dancing like they are Andres Iniesta with the ball.
yeah.
Sometimes you just need to find a way to get the result. Sometimes you just need to find a way to grind that result out. And this is what this Inter team are doing so far.
Oh, yes. So, for me, I just think Inzaghi's structure is the type that wins titles because he's just got that Italian type of coaching structure that the defense is so solid. Hence, they can score one goal and defend that one goal until the end of the match. So
Yeah, I know, I know,
yeah.
I know you actually mean Christian Kivu. Because remember, Inzaghi is the one who lost to PSG in the Champions League final. Oh, yeah, and to
Oh,
Manchester City. Yeah. So I know you mean a Christian Kivu.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Sure.
No, definitely, definitely. But then we move on to Napoli versus Parma, and obviously, Napoli are starting to wobble, bruh. Do you think Conte is worried?
Oh no, he's definitely worried. He is definitely worried because this is vintage Antonio Conte. He will do everything in his first season to wow everyone, He will get the results, he will get the league title. But then in the second season, when you're expecting the team to maybe move up a gear or move up a level, he just finds a way, to dismantle everything. Napoli,
Mm,
three consecutive nil-nil draws. That's 6 points dropped, Libs. I don't know
mm,
if maybe the alarm bells are going on, or they're still
mm.
off. They've created just 2.3 xG across three games. I
Yo,
think they must be very worried about the manner in which this season is actually developing, because this time of the season, or this time of the year, they really should be firing on all cylinders.
no, definitely. When you come from the Christmas break, you definitely want to start off on a high, and they definitely did not do that. But Conte, I think he will be happy with draws rather than losses. These points, 1 point, basically 3 points in the last three matches, he'll definitely see them as pluses, as opposed to seeing 6 points dropped. So it's definitely not title form that Napoli are showing. It's a sense of regression that we're seeing, and I wonder if they do have the breaks to stop it so that they can move back the opposite direction. And your favorite coach, Cesc Fabregas, this time didn't go well at home against AC Milan, a 3-1 loss, because Milan obviously refused to let the gap grow in terms of the league title.
Oh yeah, I think the cream will always rise to the top, and we saw this in this game as Adrian Rabiot won a penalty. He scored two goals. Milan had 100% of their shots on target. Milan
Yeah.
are now just 3 points off Internazionale.
Oh yeah, this is a leadership midfield play by Rabiot, and what's nice is that you know what, when now the please say the derby delle what is the derby of Inter versus Milan?
It's the Derby della Madonnina.
Yes, when the Deli Madonnina basically comes back and the 3 points are still a difference, then it's definitely going to be a match to watch, because Milan will want to claw back so that at least they are tied on points, and Inter will want to open the gap to take it to a 6 point gap. And then
Yeah,
Bologna
definitely.
and Verona had a midweek match, and Bologna actually walked away with all 3 points. Now, this is the example of a bad visitor, came in and took all the 3 points and left you with nothing except your fans and you to explain in a press conference. So, like, this is resilience finally rewarded.
Oh no, definitely. Bologna, they ended a seven-game winless streak, scoring three goals from just a 1.7 xG. I think they'll be very happy to come away from home with all 3 points and actually show the mental fortitude needed to get the result.
Tibo, sometimes just one win changes everything psychologically. That one
Yes,
win, just like
yes.
even when you're a striker, you could be going through a rut, but then that one goal then just opens up the gates.
The floodgates.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. So 2025 football awards. This is our debate. Tibo, you and I, are you ready to debate? Are you ready to debate? So, first of
I'm
all,
ready when you are, man.
let's talk excellence, not hype, Tibo. Because when Sunday hype, hype, we're talking excellence. So, goalkeeper nominees. Who would you say 2025 goalkeeper, best goalkeeper?
Yeah, without pulling any punches, first and foremost, we have Wojciech Szczesny, and then we have Gianluigi Donnarumma, and lastly, we have David Raya.
Mm.
David Raya leads in the clean sheets, save percentage, and of course, the distribution accuracy.
But Donnarumma, bruh, delivers on the biggest nights, and I think the reason City are actually back and alive in champion in the what you call the league run is because of him, and that really matters. So, Thibaut,
Then,
who would you
yes.
say now? Do you still stick with Raya?
No, I was not going with Raya. I just wanted to mention one point about Raya. But if
Yeah.
you were to ask me, Without a shadow of a doubt, I want to give it to Wojciech Szczesny, because who comes out of retirement and goes on to win the Copa del Rey final, the Spanish
Mm,
Super Cup and La Liga? Who does
mm,
that? I think that's totally unheard of. But with that
mm-hmm.
being said, it's difficult to look past Gigio Donnarumma, because PSG, I think they won everything in France
Yes.
and in Europe, and
Mm,
I think this is a more incredible feat
yeah.
when I compare with what Wojciech Szczesny achieved last year. But without a shadow of a doubt, I say this with a heavy heart. I'm going with Donnarumma, but I still feel like Wojciech Szczesny is the man, because who
I
comes out
know.
of retirement and wins everything?
No, true. And he did some amazing saves that actually helped Barca move to the different stages. But Donnarumma will definitely give it to him. He's even ended 2025 when PSG jettisoned him out to Manchester City, but he basically came in and shored the City defense really. And I think they were more relaxed now, knowing there's a keeper who will save a shot. So yeah, let's move on to the defenders. So I say according to the nominees, they say Pacho, they say Inigo Martinez, and then they say Van Dijk. What do you say?
William Pacho, he was instrumental in ensuring that PSG went on the run that they did,
Mm-hmm.
because they've always had Marquinhos in the side, but
Mm,
Marquinhos has been there and he has been falling at hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. But once they made this signing of William Pacho, we all saw what happened. They went
yeah.
on to dismantle almost every team that they faced going into the second part of last season. And
Mm,
then our second option, Inigo Martinez. Barcelona this season have had to change the way that they play, because Inigo Martinez is no longer in the team. They played
mm,
with a very high line last year, and they were able to maintain clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet. And this, for me, was down to the brilliance of Inigo Martinez. Virgil
mm.
van Dijk, Virgil van Dijk, if I can just, take something from what you were saying, Lebza, we're all about excellence and not the hype. I think
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk is all about the hype, because
Ah.
Liverpool did well. Liverpool did well to win the Premier League, yes, but last season was a very bad season for the rest of the title contenders in the Premier League. And I
Mm.
still maintain that Virgil van Dijk is actually having a walk in the park, because in the Premier League yesteryear, there were strikers like Wayne Rooney, Didier Drogba, Thierry Henry, to really contest for the title. And this
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk is going up against guys like Jamie Vardy, even though Vardy has moved to the Serie A. So I don't want to sound like I'm
Yeah.
taking something away from him, but in comparison to William Pacho and Inigo Martinez, I think it's a decider between these two guys. So who are you going with, Lebza?
No, I'm going to be biased and select Inigo Martinez because I definitely felt the gap. I felt it as a fan when I watched the matches just after he left, and there was a big gap in that point. Like that's why we lost so many matches. So I really were Pacho. Yes, congratulations for finally making PSG win, but no, Inigo. Yo, when you left, you know that song. You don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Yeah. Janet Jackson.
Yeah, bro. That's it.
Q
That's it.
tip.
That's it. And
Janet Jackson,
you
Q tip.
who are you selecting?
No, you know what? Ne? I like William Pacho. Ne? I like William
Mm,
Pacho, and I like what his addition did to this PSG side, because they went on to win everything, right?
mm,
But I think the influence of Inigo Martinez was way greater. It was way greater.
yeah.
So just for this, I'm also gonna agree with you and go with Inigo Martinez.
And then midfielders. Pedri, the god of midfield. Vitinha, the second best in the world. Oh, Enzo, the seventh best in the world.
Yeah,
Who
you
do
know
you
what?
go
These
with?
players, I think These players, I think they all played their part last season. I think Pedri was instrumental in winning Barcelona all the domestic trophies that were available to the Blaugrana. I think Enzo made it to this list because in the run up to Chelsea winning the Club World Cup,
Yeah,
he was imperious.
unplayable.
He was
Mm,
really imperious. He was almost unplayable. I think
yeah,
his level was so good that it almost seemed like he could do whatever he want. He could attack when he
yeah.
felt like it. He could stop the opposition's attack when he felt like it.
You know
And
what?
then obviously there's
It was
yes,
the Enzo of Argentina, not the Enzo of Chelsea that we saw there.
true
Because you know
story without a shadow of a doubt.
when Enzo puts on that Argentinian shirt, Enzo becomes like
A beast.
a different player. Yeah.
Yeah, and lastly there was Vitinha. I don't know what else can that I can say because I don't think I have the superlatives, to
Yeah.
give enough praise to Vitinha. I think Vitinha last season he really did something that I think nobody was expecting to happen, and
Mhm.
for me, he's definitely deserving to be at this table of the best midfielders in the world right now. So I don't know who's your money on.
Look, Vitinha won everything, but Pedri, bro, like this thing is his thing. And but then Vitinha lost it when he went international, but then Pedri, what you call this thing, won the thing with what you call this thing? Was it the not the Euro? Was it the Euro or was it the Nations Cup? You know, so I just love Pedri,
And
dog.
that was a
Pedri,
long time ago, man. He won the
I
Euro,
know,
but that was
but
like
Pedri is the best.
2024.
Look, Pedri is the best midfielder in the world. Vitinha had a good season. So I'll select Vitinha for now, just but 2026, when we end it off, Pedri is definitely going to be the best. But the last quarter of 2025, Pedri showed everyone up. Even when you won against Barca, yes, you said Jabulani Bengu was better, but I didn't hear you comment about how Jabulani Bengu did nothing when now they were beaten again and Pedri had him right here, you know? So Pedri is the best midfielder in the world. I would reward Pedri actually. Screw Vitinha.
Yeah, well, I'll go in the opposite direction, but man, I'm gonna give it to Vitinha. Vitinha. I think um he was peerless. I think
Mm,
Vitinha is in a dimension where I can mention him alongside guys like Luka Modric, guys like Andres Iniesta.
mm,
And this is not because I am a Los Blancos fan.
mm.
I think I've said it to you on many occasions that I think Pedri should actually be relinquished, maybe played in a number 10 position, and maybe we'll see the very best out of him. But in this particular position that he plays, in the role that he functions within this Blaugrana side, or on the European continent, there's really no debate for me. Vitinha is the man.
Look, I think it's because you don't understand Pedri's position and the style of play of Barcelona. We
What's his
want
position? What's the
so
style of play of Barcelona?
we want to keep the ball. And Pedri, he plays in between the lines like how Bernardo Silva plays for Manchester City. That he is everywhere. He goes back to actually the defenders and collects the ball from there, and then helps the build up and plays and plays and plays. And he's all over midfield. But Pedri is
Okay.
the player when we want to actually go ahead and keep the ball, and maybe we feel that other team is running too much there. Pedri, you pass him the ball, and he will know where to take it, and he will even go back to defense and then come back with it from.
Now, now, if we're just talking about last season, or if we're just talking about 2025, right? Me personally, I feel like the combination of Frankie De Jong and Mark Casado is
Mm,
is imperious, and
mm,
with guys like that there to protect Pedri, I feel like we would get Isco-esque performances from Pedri, but if we look at what's happening right now, I think it's very easy to say what you're saying, because you now have who's this boy who's playing the number 10 at Barcelona? He's firing on all cylinders. His name
Oh
is on
yeah,
the tip of my tongue. Fermin
Fermin.
Lopez. You
Yeah.
see, right now, Fermin Lopez, he is found a neck or the nose for goal. So right now, I think you can get away with saying what you're saying, but you know, it's okay.
We don't want to lose the control of the game by moving the guy who controls the match to number 10, where he
You
needs
won't.
other people.
But
We want to.
now
We
here's my
want.
thing. Now here's my thing, and I think this is why we disagree. You
Mm,
feel like Pedro, excuse me, Pedri controls the game. I feel De Jong controls the game. I feel like the true conductor in that midfield is
mm.
is, is Frankie De Jong. You feel that it's Pedri,
So
and I'm
look,
saying to you,
they work. They
yeah,
work in tandem. Yeah, but I
no,
didn't
no,
want
no,
to
no, no, no,
mention.
no, no,
I didn't want to
no, no,
mention
no, 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 no.
obviously De Jong because the three names that we
No, no,
put
no,
here.
no, no, no.
I would put De
They
Jong.
they work for Dion. They work for Dion. All the other guys, they have the ability to score goals. They have the ability to create assist for everyone else on the pitch, right? But Frankie De Jong is the one who decides whether the team moves faster, whether the team slows down the game, whether the team moves from left to right or from right to left. For me, Frankie is the conductor in that midfield.
Look, we're gonna move on because our viewers are probably asking themselves like, okay, guys, who are the strikers of this argument? So we've got Dembele, we've got Rafinha, and we've got Mbappe. Who would you go with, Timo? Let's go quickly because we've got the flops and then we've got the props before we close it out.
Yeah, I just want to say that the Kylian Mbappe is only on this list because he ended off the season as the Golden Boot winner, ne? But
Mm-hmm.
after that, we have Rafinha, who also won everything domestically with Barcelona. I think he was the talisman. I think he was probably the second best player in Europe, or even in the world. Had it
Mm.
not been for Barcelona being knocked out in the semi-final of the Champions League, he was definitely going to be my vote for who the best player in the world was going to be.
Yeah.
Usman Dembele took PSG to the final frontier. His goals and his assists, I think, are the reason why, and we cannot deny him. But overall, all these guys, I think they really put or gave the best showing of themselves last year. So who's your money on?
No, I'll have to choose Dembele for what he's done because Rafinha also was out with an injury, recently to close
Mhm.
out. But when he came back, you saw that Rafinha was actually he's very very much effective. But Dembele, I can give it to him. Well done on him for making PSG win.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you. I'm also going to give it to Dembele just by way of that he managed to win the Champions League.
And then managers, Luis Enrique winning another Champions League with PSG, Flick for flicking on the switch in Barcelona, company really gelling with the guys in Bavaria.
Yeah, and just on that level, I think Vincent Company is here because I think he's moving like a Russian submarine. I
Mm,
think after his stint in England, there were many doubts about his appointment in Munich, and I
mm,
think he's went on to show us that it wasn't a fluke.
mm.
Hansi Flick, had it not been again for Barcelona being knocked out of the semi-final of the Champions League, I think it would have been a very easy choice after coming back into the managerial space after coaching the German national team. Luis Enrique, everything has already been said about Luis Enrique. He took PSG to the final frontier. And with that said, I think my choice here, without a shadow of a doubt, is Luis Enrique. How about you, Lebza? How about you, Lebza?
Yo, Tibo, it's frozen.
I can see you,
All
bro.
right. Okay, cool. So, I definitely also go with Luis Enrique, guys. But now let's get to the flops and the props. So, accountability matters, Tibo. Robert Sanchez errors at Chelsea, costing them, or Salah anonymous in the biggest AFCON game of his life, or Napoli. They actually should now change their name to Mary J. Blige because they're going down. All
Hmm.
right.
No,
So, who's your flop?
it's definitely going to Mohamed Salah. I
Mm-hmm.
think when you wear the shirt of Egypt, then you are basically the Real Madrid of the national teams on the African continent. It's an
Mm,
obligation for you to win the AFCON. And the
mm.
AFCON, they've changed the timetable. It's no longer it's gone from 4 years to 2 years. So I think
Yeah.
Mohamed Salah has had ample opportunities to actually take this Egypt side to the final frontier, but over
Mm.
and over again, he keeps not showing up or being anonymous, as we've affectionately said in the AFCON.
All right. Mine will also definitely go to Salah. But for me, I'm happy he was anonymous. But obviously, for his fans, I definitely do think he is the right flop because elite football has zero sympathy. Thibaut, take me through the props, brother.
Yeah, first and foremost, we have Arsenal's ruthless consistency. After they took the Chelsea or the Club World Cup champions to the cleaners at home at the bridge to win 3-2 away in the first leg. Secondly, we have Sadio Mane delivering again on the big stage and against his arch nemesis Mohamed Salah's Egypt. And lastly, we have Yassine Bonu doing Yassine Bonu things, sending Morocco to history in the first AFCON final.
Imagine in 50 years, what have they been doing? Anyway, I think for me right here, Mane delivering again on a big stage is my vote for the prop.
Yeah, no, this one I'm giving it to Yassine Bono because
Mm.
after the quarterfinal stages, I was so happy that Senegal were going to face off with Egypt because I knew that Sadio Mane was going to turn the screws on Mohamed Salah once again.
Yeah.
These are impact performances, not vibes. Impact.
Well, Thibaut, this year has started with pressure, passion, and proof. Proof of who's ready, proof of who's growing, and proof of who belongs where. But Thibaut, before we go, I just want to ask, now that Real Madrid has fired the coach you wanted them to fire, are you happy?
Very much so. Very
Yeah.
happy. Very
But then
happy. I'm
now
very happy.
they've hired someone who seems to also know nothing.
I mean, I don't want to put pressure on Alvaro Arbeloa because he's already under pressure,
Mm,
coming into his first game and getting knocked out of the Copa del Rey. But what I
yeah,
will say is the season is only halfway through.
yeah.
There's still the Champions League and La Liga to play for. And from what I've seen Alvaro Arbeloa saying to the
Yeah.
press, I think he looks like he is a person who knows how to whisper into the ears of the superstars. Obviously,
Mm,
this needs to translate on the pitch because results are the only thing that will keep him in this job. As I said from at the beginning of the season, I never felt like Xabi Alonso was the right man for the job because at a club like Real Madrid, you cannot come and think you'll be a tyrannical ruler. You already
mm.
have everything that you need to win everything. What you need to do is to recreate an environment where your star players will shine. This is not Barcelona. We are not a small club.
All right. So good luck. Let's see what happens on the weekend. But I said it's the time right now as we enter the last, basically the second half of the league and obviously of the Champions League, to show the proof of who's ready. And definitely for my
No,
side,
listen. Yeah, no, listen, I definitely agree with you, ne, because now, the proof will be in the pudding, but definitely the data is forming and the patterns are already there. By March, these patterns will become destiny. This is the time where the cream will rise to the top and we will see who's who in the zoo, big boss.
No, remember though, January doesn't define champions. I agree with you, but it always exposes the pretenders, right? So we've seen
Mhm.
now that there's some teams that were pretending for the throne this year, and but also for a team that is leading in January, it does give you just that momentum and fire that man, we can actually do it. So good luck to Arsenal, good luck to Barca. And then good luck. I don't know in Serie A who I support, but good luck to Inter since they're currently leading. But other than that, that's it from us tonight. Same passion as we said, higher standards. Welcome to 2026 football. It looks like it's going to be a good one. Don't forget, this is not just football, it's Let's Argue.